Hey folks, my name is Pravus and welcome to more After Ink Revival as we continue our Mega Brutal Guide series. So we're moving on to Mission 3, and that's going to be Frozen Hope. Just as winter arrives, a crucial heating system fails and the bunker begins to freeze. Survivors must let it go. They force the doors open to face a world blanketed in snow. And this is going to introduce the next major mechanic for the game, one that will be harassing you for the rest of the campaign: winter. And winter is quite punishing on Mega Brutal difficulty. You're going to need a very large stockpile of food and fuel. In fact, from here on out, a lot of our economic planning is going to be based just around preparing for winter. And if you fail to do that, then you're going to find yourself entering a death spiral as your morale plummets. In fact, I'd say the winter is oftentimes more dangerous than zombies on a lot of these maps. Fortunately, this level takes it easy on you to introduce you to the mechanic, but from here on out, it's going to be a lot worse. Good God, I've got 3 terrible leaders to pick from. Okay. Well, the Slumlord is horrible, never pick him. Extra population and stamina and authority sounds good, but you can't scale your services and your technology and your resources quite fast enough to deal with this, so he ends up being very, very difficult. The Cub Scout is kind of awful, explores the region for free, which sounds nice, but makes every other specific exploration more expensive. And on Mega Brutal, you usually know exactly what regions you want to explore in what order, so this kind of throws that all off. The Tyrant isn't that bad, actually. You can use the fighters to suppress a settlement if your morale gets low. If they still rebel against you, it hurts your authority even more. Your fighter can get injured, which can be very bad, but you do have more time before impatience is an issue. So if you can successfully manage your morale, the Tyrant actually ends up being a net positive, and we'll likely have to use him in the future. This early on the campaign, I am willing to give the Cub Scout a shot, but I do not like her. Of the bunch here, by the way, I do recommend going for well supplied for the storage size and the resources. Prepared is okay as well. For once, we're not going to go for the hard working. You'll see why in just a little bit. Let's go ahead and get started. And on this particular map, we will be starting already in progress in winter. If you take a look at the top right, you can see we have 1 month remaining, 29 days, before winter ends, and we are going to be able to start producing food, and our fuel consumption is going to go back down to normal levels. Otherwise, winter is going to be quite awful, and you need to prepare around this. It gives you some idea of how much time you have remaining. Let me show you what the map looks like real quick. We have one forest to the west, which is important. We have plenty of food, but no other adjacent forests is going to make our fuel production a little bit weak, and we will have to go expand beyond that at some point soon. It's going to be very much on the forefront of my mind. As far as our objectives, though, we don't actually have to fight the zombies. We can afford to be defensive. They will come and attack you occasionally on Mega Brutal, so you have to have a fighter, but that's not going to be too bad. Speaking of objectives, let's pull those up. We need to get a fire pit immediately, and then increase our storage capacity for food, which I've technically already done by becoming well prepared. We then need to produce food, fuel, survive winter, increase our population, stockpile a lot of fuel, and then maintain morale. The stockpiling of fuel is the hardest part because if you don't time it correctly, you're going to find it very difficult to get up into a high level. But we'll explain how that works in just a bit. Coming back to the map, I'm going to go ahead and follow this build order. Let's get ourselves first a quick fire pit, because during winter our morale is going to be extremely low, so we need to get this going for some heat. Then we can come back and get ourselves a tent. We can get ourselves a well. We can scavenge twice for some wood and scavenge once for some food. Let's go ahead and jump forward a little bit more. So the fire pit's going to be done pretty much immediately. You're going to find we actually double complete objectives. We've moved directly on to preparing 5 food because I already have enough of a food stockpile capacity. So that's not an issue for us. Let's plan out a basic toilet as well, just to get our morale up, and then we're going to start exploring over here to the west. I want to get into that forest as quickly as I reasonably can. Now, my authority just dropped a little bit because apparently my morale is just still too low, but I'm trying, guys. You're all just very impatient. Let's go ahead and claim this forest now. We've already produced enough food, which is great. I'm going to start getting some firewood. Let's go ahead and get a firewood splitter real quick, and then we do want to get a lumber yard as soon as I have a couple of stamina, which I now do. So fuel from here on out is going to be very, very, very important, and the more firewood splitters you have, generally the better. Now, is our Cub Scout going to do anything? Because so far she's exploring absolutely nothing, and that is a problem for me. A huge problem, actually. What are you doing? All right, well, let's go ahead and explore this region, I guess. I didn't want to spend the stamina, but we will, because I need to claim this region to start getting some extra food production. Let's get our stamina up. There she goes. Finally, she's explored a region that is totally useless. Literally the worst place she could have explored. Literally the worst, but okay. So we're producing some fuel automatically. This is kind of our breather time to actually start getting prepared. Let's go ahead and claim this, get ourselves another population. We can get some more food production. I'm already at my cap. I'm going to start getting a well instead. Then we'll come back here and get a grain field. I mean, I'll consume this food eventually, but some more storage wouldn't go too amiss here, just because having a lot of food is quite nice. Morale is dropping, but it's really not that bad. People just want kitchens, and we're not going to get that until we get to tech level 2 anyway, so I wouldn't worry about that quite yet. So water production needs one more well, just make sure we have enough production to meet our consumption. And then I'm probably going to go ahead and explore down over here because I know there's some more food production that we can take advantage of down this direction. So let's go ahead and claim this and then build one more of these grain fields. That means our food production is going to be pretty decent from here on out. We just really need to make sure that we stockpile enough to keep this going. Could build up that storage. And honestly, when you have to think about winter, storage is very valuable and you should not underestimate it. But I can't really afford to deal anything about that right now. Tech level 2 would be nice. Okay, she just explored over here, so that gets me a little bit more food production if I want it. I'm going to go ahead and pick up some tech 2 now while I can. Let's send a lot of water over here to help put out the fire. I don't want to deal with that. And there's my objective. So I don't know if we've hit impatience quite yet. I really don't know if there is an option here that tells you like how much time before the impatience kicks in. I wish there was, because that would make my life a little bit easier. But okay, let's get 2 more tents going because we need to get up to pop 4 from here on out. My water production I'm not worried about. My food production just kind of is what it is. Wood I'm okay with. Fuel, we'll need to scavenge and do storage in a minute, but I think for now I'm going to go ahead and get myself a fighter before the zombies become an issue, because I know they will. And then I don't really want to spend 4 of my stamina to explore this, but I have to. We have to explore this in order to get ourselves some more wood, so we're just going to live with that. All right, we get ourselves a quick event here. That's a little more authority. I'm not clicking the button until I have a little more stamina to work with first, because as soon as I click this button, we're going to find our morale is going to be struggling. Now, I've heard some conflicting reports on this. Some people say the morale does not go down when you pick up some tech. It only goes up when you get more population. And right now, that certainly does seem to be true because they already wanted kitchens. I find that oftentimes, though, when you get some more technology, that it either is a coincidence or it does trigger people wanting more things. Either way, that's usually when morale starts to drop, and you should consider getting yourself a little bit more. Now, how do I feel about things like my food and such? I mean, honestly, I feel like what I really need here is just some more fuel, so we're going to claim this forested region. That seems good. I wish I had kept a little more stamina because I do need to go for this event here, have a chance at a breakthrough for more wood production. The other options are awful. Okay, we need to place down a quick fighter over here because we have a wolf event. We can send in our fighters. There's a very good chance we get some food. If you do not do this, there's a good chance that you lose control of the area or people die, so dogs can be very, very dangerous. We did discover some zombies over here passively, which is, you know, fine. Yeah, okay, I'm fine with that. Not a big deal. I do need to get myself some improvised housing. People's demands are starting to go down. And now that we've claimed another region, let's go ahead and start preemptively getting some more firewood splitters. I did say I want to save some stamina. I don't know if we have enough time to deal with this anymore. We got 3 exactly. Perfect. Let's go ahead and improvise. We did get extra wood production. That's going to be nice. That's a random event. Sometimes it works out for you and sometimes it does not. Are we doing okay on all the other resources? Right now we're okay on water. I'm about to get another pop, so I'll preemptively build one more well because we know we're going to need it, and then I probably need to get myself some more food production before winter returns. Frog collecting, that seems like an odd thing to do, but I mean, okay. I don't really need the frog burgers. I guess I'll take the stamina. The chance of unrest could be an issue, but sure. Now, I did just see, by the way, see this little red thing right here? This says that there are some moving zombies. They are on the way. This is definitely when you need to have a fighter, right about now by the time you're getting to 4 population. So if you did not pick it up earlier, make sure you do now. Let's go ahead and boost up some storage for our food. Let's go ahead and get another firewood splitter, 2, since we actually have a lot of technology, and I will get 1 more storage there. And then I think that's good enough for this moment. I want to stockpile as much fuel and as much food as we reasonably can. Pop 4 will be hitting in just a moment. We'll need some additional services. Let's go ahead and get a small town square. Looks to me like the zombies are going to be crossing this bridge. Okay. We've explored another region. Cool. Fine. Yeah. Population goes up. Completed that. Now we need to stockpile 20 fuel. This is the hardest part because in just about a month, we are going to have our winter hit. And if you have winter, while you're trying to stockpile fuel, you're going to burn through it so quickly that becomes very, very difficult. So let's go to our fuel here. I do need to get some more storage, and then I'm going to spend everything I can to just scavenge fuel. And we're going to try to get as much stockpiled here before we consume it all. All right? That is my goal. We do need to get some more services, by the way. I did just notice that people are getting unhappy. We'll grab a couple more, make sure this is fine. Just time this out so you stockpile the fuel before winter hits. I'm telling you, it's the fastest way to get through this scenario. Now we just need to maintain 70% morale. And as long as I've got enough food and enough fuel to get through winter, we're good to go. So everything else I'm doing is going to go into just getting some additional morale services. That's all I care about, and then we're going to win the scenario. And we don't have to explore anything beyond this. It's actually quite simple. If we need to, we could throw a festival. I'm very tempted to do that. Usually not a good idea during winter, but if I can just get myself up towards 70% morale, it wouldn't be so bad. Why are people upset? They want more fire pits. We're just out of wood, that's the issue. So let's go ahead and do a quick scavenge, because that'll be a faster solution than trying to get more passively. I need to build more stuff. I'm going to go ahead and do a festival. Now, consuming more stuff during winter is usually terrible. I'm literally just going for speed here. This is atrocious. Really? Now I have to lose some fuel? Okay. Well, we'll spend the 8 fuel so I don't lose control of the region, but that's not what I wanted to see at all. Very, very bad, actually. So now we have a much shorter time window before my fuel is gone and then my morale is going to collapse. But I think it's still going to turn out just right to finishing out the scenario exactly right. So if you go fast on this scenario and you know what you want to do, if you can get that fuel stockpile before your second winter hits, it becomes an absolute cakewalk. Otherwise, you're going to have to do 3 rounds of scavenging for fuel just to outpace your consumption, or you have to wait for your second winter to end. And even if you do wait until winter ends, you'll still get 5 stars on Mega Brutal with this scenario. It's just if you want to go for a higher score, that's helpful. I think the biggest thing that people will forget is it doesn't say you need to get a fighter, so they'll skip it, and then they get surprise attacked by the zombies, and that's going to be game over. So don't ignore that. Make sure you get 1 fighter by around the time you're getting pop 4, and then from there on out, just build, and you will be completely fine. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this guide. Hope it was helpful and informative in some way. If so, I would ask you hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.